So now, if you're a Grade 1 novice, you've only got the 2-mile race or the 3-mile race to choose from. Hello, and welcome along to the Let's Talk Racing YouTube channel. This is a very last minute video because we've got new changes for the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. We did have a different video planned that was going to be uploaded tonight, but that's moving to Monday. We do hope you enjoy that. But I'm making this last minute video on Wednesday night because we've just heard about some new changes for the Cheltenham Festival. So this being brought to you on midday on Thursday are breaking news, effectively. This is exactly what's going to be happening with next year's Cheltenham Festival and our live reactions. So I'm going to get it up here. These are, first of all, the race changes. So the 2.5 mile turners, the Gold Miller Novices Chase, is confirmed to be replaced by a Grade 2 Limited Novices Handicap Chase over the same distance. We had that idea. It was popular amongst trainers. Dan Skelton didn't particularly like it because I think he thought that that was possibly a Gold Cup trial. I'm kind of in the middle with it. I think that the 2.5 mile turners has become probably the race with a classier horse, and the 3-mile race can definitely affect horses long term and longevity. I think that's proven that with the likes of Monkfish, Top of the Game, and horses like that over a long period of time. But I do think there's probably a happy medium. Maybe a 2-mile 6 Grade 1 would be a suggestion that I would have forward. What it does do, becoming a Limited Novices Handicap Chase, is the Arkle and the 3-mile race will be ultra competitive. We spoke about that with Gavin Lynch. The likes of a Galopin de Champs, who won a Turners before, Bob Ollinger, who ran in the Turners, Envoi Alain was heavily favourite. They will now have to pick 2 or 3, or miss the festival, which could happen as well. Fairy House will be rubbing their hands together with their Easter Grade 1 over 2.5 miles, and Aintree will be very, very happy as well. But I think that's pretty interesting. It'll make it very, very fascinating with a Ballyburn. Will he go up to 3? Will he go down to 2? Maybe horses will be campaigned slightly differently as well. I also really, really enjoyed the previous Novice Handicap Chase over 2.5 miles, the ones that A Plus Tard won really impressively. I really, really enjoyed punting it and really enjoyed watching it. Here's a new change. The National Hunt Chase will become a Class 2 Novices Handicap Chase, a 0 to 145, with amateur riders' restrictions for jockeys removed to allow professionals to take part. So amateur jockeys will still be able to ride in the race. I suspect they'll be able to claim, but professional jockeys will be able to run, and the 3-mile 6 National Hunt Chase will now be a Novice Handicap Chase. So you've got to be a novice, I like that, but it's for slightly less classy novices. I think what they wanted to do is combat the last 3 or 4 years. You think of Gallard de Menil, you think of Corbett's Cross last year, I think of Statler. The National Hunt Chase has effectively become a 3-mile crawl and a 6 furlong sprint where the classy horse 9 times out of 10 goes and wins the race. I know that was slightly different with Gallard de Menil because Marla Mission fell, but I do think that it's semi-taken away what the National Hunt Chase was. And yes, we've had better winners, but I don't think the race has improved as a result. So a 0 to 145 is interesting. It won't just be a Kim York, it's over a longer trip, and it's for novices as well, so you have to be a novice. So I like those changes, and I do think that then you'll have the Statlers, the Corbett's Cross, the Gallard de Menils running in the Brown Advisory, which will make that race even more competitive. So now, if you're a Grade 1 novice, you've only got the 2-mile race or the 3-mile race to choose from, unless you wanted to go and step into a Ryanair as a novice, which would obviously be pretty ambitious. I don't mind those changes. The Glenfarclas Cross Country Chase will be changed from a conditions race to a limited handicap. We got that impression anyway. They kind of run those races throughout the season. I think in October and November, or definitely at the November meeting, they have a cross country chase with the handicap conditions. That will be interesting. I think that race has improved, to be honest. I think that the Tiger Rolls of the world have definitely benefited from that race being for classy horses. I really enjoyed Delta Work versus Tiger Roll. Those great races, Easy's Land. Hard to know. The race will be more competitive, but I suspect those horses that use the cross-country chase as a springboard for the Grand National might not run. That might take something away from it, but we'll see. The race conditions for the Ryanair Mares Novices Hurdle will be changed to remove the penalty structure, resulting in a level weights contest. This is something that had to be done, especially after last year. 2 reasons. Last year, arguably the best mare in the country was Dysart Enos as a novice, and Thurgood O'Brien was petrified to run her all season. He'll happily admit that. There was a listed race at Newbury in November. He wanted to run there, but if they won that race, then they'd have to turn up against the Irish, who hadn't got a penalty, and give them £5. It's just an unfair playing field. It's not level at all. And I do think that's something that had to change, because yes, Golden Ace got the better of the two, but she was carrying £5 less. And this year, I'm already seeing stable tours with Ben Pauling talking about Diva Luna, who was so impressive in the Aintree Mares bumper, saying, do we not go to that Newbury listed race? And that shouldn't be the case. We need these horses running in the best races all year round, and then turning up at Cheltenham and finding out who's best. So I completely agree that race should stake to a grade 2. It's not worthy of a grade 1 yet, but it should be a level weights contest. I agree with that completely. From 2023, any horse finishing in the first 4 of a qualifying race for the Pertemps Final has been eligible for the race at the festival. From 2025, the race conditions will be altered to provide a guaranteed run in the Pertemps Final for all winners of series qualifiers, in brackets, provided they are within the weights at declaration stage. So that effectively is trying to encourage horses to win the Pertemps qualifiers, because how many times, and I suppose it's become a dark art of finishing 4th in a Pertemps qualifier, and then suddenly you're 4-5-1 favourite for the Pertemps and you go and win it. Gordon Elliott did that so many times with the likes of Cider Burley. You get in there, you finish 4th, you don't go up anything in the weights, you get your run in March, and you probably put away. It happened with the horse in October, Salvador Ziggy as well. He finished 4th or 3rd, put away, not seen again. And we don't want that. We want these horses running in those races throughout the season and being competitive. So I like that idea. I think those races will become more competitive, and still, if you finish in the first 4, I think you'll be qualified for the Pertemps Final, but slightly more of an incentive, especially for those lower rated horses, to go and win a Pertemps qualifier. I suspect those big trainers will have one eye on that. And then the final change for the races is current horses must have run at least 3 times. This is currently horses must have run at least 3 times over fences or 4 times over hurdles to be eligible for a non-novice handicap at the festival. So basically, when a novice ran in the festival last year, if they were running over fences, they had to run 3 times before. If they were over hurdles, they had to run 4 times before. From 2025, this will be increased to 4 chase starts and 5 hurdle runs as well. So they're trying to stop the Galopin des Champs turning up in a Martin Pipe and winning off 142 or whatever it was that day, 140, and they're trying to stop the Statemans turning up in the county hurdle and having had a small amount of runs over hurdles, really unexposed, turn up in a handicap and dot up. So I don't think that is the worst idea. That means the handicaps, again, are more competitive. I think all of this, what we're seeing, is to create more competitive racing. To be honest, I really enjoyed trying to find a state man. I don't know about you behind the camera, but I really enjoyed trying to find that Galopin des Champs. Where is this Willie Mullins novice who's possibly not been winning loads of races, maybe running over the wrong trip, suddenly turns up at the festival over the right conditions and shows their real quality? I quite enjoy trying to find those. So it'd be a shame to see if trainers can still manage to get those novices running in those races, but it's going to be massively, massively difficult. Moving on to changes about the race day at Cheltenham. So more hard standing track will be laid out in Cheltenham's racecourse grass car parks, covering an area size of 17 football pitches. So basically they need to sort out the car park. Everyone knows that. And I think they're doing something about it, which is great. A new park and ride system will be launched. That sounds positive. In addition, the Jockey Club have partnered with a National Express to offer coach travel. I think that's all brilliant. I do think that getting to and from Cheltenham could be improved, and it looks like they're going to do that. This is a big one. Racegoers will have more course-facing areas to enjoy a drink, easing queues and reducing the near need to rush between races. I think at the moment, people have a choice. I think when you're at Cheltenham, you either go to the toilet, you get a drink, you have a bet. You can't do it all. You can't see the horses in the parade ring. You can't go to the pre-parade ring. So being able to take a pint with you for a couple of those, I think, is a positive. And then the final one is how hot and cold meals will be offered, giving racegoers the opportunity to save money when buying any hot and soft drinks with food throughout the day and at multiple outlets on course. So that's a positive. Finally, these are slight changes with prices. All ticket prices for the 2025 Cheltenham Festival will be frozen at the 2024 levels. That's great, making racing as affordable as possible. Racegoers purchasing a ticket for any day of the Cheltenham Festival will be given a 20% discount on any tickets purchased for the other days of the event. Discounts won't be applied for Gold Cup Day, but if you buy a ticket for Tuesday, you'll get the option to have 20% off your Wednesday and Thursday tickets. I think that's a good incentive. Groups of 6 people can save 10% on ticket prices when booking together. The previous discount was offered for groups of 15 or more. If you can save money in a group of 6, that's ideal. And as announced earlier this month, the Jockey Club and Cheltenham Racecourse have entered into an exciting new partnership with leading sports tour operating Venator Racing, which will give racegoers the opportunity to purchase discounted packages, including tickets, hotels, travel, and more, in a one-stop shop initiative known as Room to Race. Don't hate that at all, because going to Cheltenham, if you're not living around the area, is extremely expensive. It's obviously the best racing, it's the biggest festival. I can understand why people make the pilgrimage every year. I do it, it's the best week of the year, it's my Christmas, but it can't get out of hand. It has to be more affordable moving forward. So massively behind anything that can support that in the slightest. But they are all the changes. I think overall, the race changes are positive. It makes things more competitive. I'd say those big trainers, the Willie Mullins of the world, are really going to be scratching their heads. I look at this year, I think Ballyburn is probably certain to go in the 2.5 mile race, or in Perry Pass at least. Now he's going to have to go up to 3 or possibly drop down to 2. But that's the privilege of a really good trainer. I think overall the racing product improves and the Cheltenham Festival improves because us racing fans get to turn up on the Tuesday of the festival and have an unbelievable Arkle. We get to go to the Wednesday and have an unbelievable 3 mile Novices Chase. And that will ultimately be how the success of these changes will be measured. In 3 or 4 years' time, this has to be a more competitive Cheltenham Festival. It won't happen overnight, but hopefully in 2025, we get to see glimpses of that. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.